reality in a way. She's also a lot deeper than him, like more in touch with her feelings and the sounds of things, and she's just kind of more spiritual in a way than he is, and he can't really understand that. And you know, she finds that funny, the fact that he's just, you know, everything's just kind of black and white. So it's kind of hard to talk about the characters separate because they're so close together. Do you know what I mean? You have to talk about the two together. Their world is like kind of routine. They play the same games. They have these role plays that they play the whole time. We're just like the games that kids would play. We're like, we play that game again. Yeah, okay. And they're into the game, you know, and you grow out of that as you get older. It's like, oh, yeah, do you remember when we used to play that game? But they're still in there. They have this dream that they're going to find the palace and that he's the king and she's the queen of Pork City, of their world. Like, and when they get to the palace, it's going to be amazing. They'll be the king and queen of their world. So I think that Runt knows she will get to the palace eventually, but that's, you know, going to be the complete peak of her life. After the first 3 pages, because of the language, because they have their own little language, the first 3 pages I was like, because it's, you know, Runt's voiceover, and I just found it really strange. But then after that, I got into it and just completely fell in love with it. And I'm a complete sucker for love stories, but I don't like corny ones, like, you know, your typical he likes her, she likes him. There's a big difference to this one. The base of it is a complete love story, but it gets very dark and it gets really interesting in that way, and because the characters are so different. I think it reflects a lot of relationships in the sense that, you know, when you first meet someone, your relationship keeps growing and growing, whatever relationship it is, like, especially like with the boy-girl one. And when you get past a certain stage, if you're not prepared to keep changing with the relationship, if one person stays the same, you know what I mean, if they don't change together, it's going to end. One person might want what the other one doesn't, and that happens all the time. And and as well, because it's so intense and it is unhealthy, because they haven't developed properly as individuals. She completely feels it. You can see her even when she's reading back over, you know, with the sides, you know, for doing a scene, and she's kind of thinking of maybe to add something else to it. And if it's a sweet scene, you can kind of see her smiling and getting into the fantasy, do you know what I mean, living it. I don't think it's a matter of age, it's just a matter of understanding it. Because, I don't know, once you can feel the story, like, because a lot of people would read it and just not get it at all because of the way it's written, and then, like, you need to see it performed, whereas other people would just read it and get it straight away.
I became involved with it in late 1996. They a theatre company in Cork called Kirkadurker Theatre Company were producing this play called Disco Pigs, and I went up for an audition for it and got the part, and then we workshopped it for a week in August, and then brought it up to the theatre festival in Dublin after a week in Cork, and then it kind of it sort of snowballed from there. It did a lot of festivals and all. I went to Edinburgh and went around the place. I think it was the simplicity of the piece, you know, the fact there's 2 people, or two kids, you know, whose lives are so intertwined and so sort of insular that their relationship is that they can't exist without each other. And the simplicity of that, I think, is what captured people's imagination. And the fact that they, you know, they spoke in this sort of Cork idiom and this sort of created language as well, which takes a while. It took a while for the audience to get their ear tuned into. So, you know, you had to work at it, and it made the audience work at it. From the day they were born, neither of them hasn't, you know, spent like a day apart from each other, and they live next door to each other, and, you know, they have developed this sort of language which is peculiar to their relationship, you know. So they see their world, and then they see this world around it, you know.